Hey guys, welcome to A Little Bit of Monica. Today we are doing probably my biggest book haul to date. I have been collecting a lot of books over the past couple of months. Actually, so many more than I even thought there were. But it is time to go through all of these, share them with you, and then I can finally put them back onto my shelves where they belong, because right now they have just been accumulating on top of my bookcases and I was running out of space. That's how many there were. There are 37 books total. Actually, strike that. There's 38, but one of them is not here because my sister's borrowing it. So yeah, there's a lot of books here to go through. The first one is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I read Part of Your World, really loved that. I've heard good things about this book, and this is the free book I got for the Book of the Year from Book of the Month, so this one was an easy selection for me. Next up was Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. This was part of the last box that I am getting from Book of the Month because I decided to cancel that subscription or put it on pause for now. It's a thriller, it seemed really interesting, and I feel like I've heard good things about it so far. Next up is Happily Never After by Lynn Painter, a nice little rom-com about people who are, I think, professional objectors at weddings. Sounds so weird, but so cool, so I'm excited to read this one. It also seems like it's kind of shorter than some other ones, which is exciting because sometimes you just need a little bit of a shorter read. And next up is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. And this one I've heard a lot of really good things about, a fantasy romance about a witch and a witch hunter, so that sounds super cool. Next up is one that I technically got from Lexi, but it's also Book of the Month, and that is Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. Lexi's copy was slightly damaged, just like up here at the top, but they sent her a new copy and she had this one and offered it to me, so of course I took it. I'm not going to pass up a free book opportunity. The next couple books all came from Lexi because she was holding on to quite a few books of mine and we just kept forgetting to get together and like actually exchange them. But the next one up is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I lied, this one is not from Lexi. Lexi delivered it, but this one's from Mel. Mel was getting rid of this book, and when Lexi was visiting her in January for Mel's birthday, she ended up giving this book to Lexi because she knows how much I liked Divine Rivals, and this is the same author. This is a special edition. It is absolutely so pretty, and I'm really excited to read this. I've heard good things from people who like this author, so that makes me very excited to try this one out. Next up is Bonesmith by Nikki Palprato. This book is supposed to be a buddy read between me, Lexi, Cassidy, and Mel. Like, we all got the book. Lexi got my copy for me because there was none available around me. And finally, the last book that Lexi delivered to me was one that she's had in her possession since December when she picked up her copy again because there was none in the stores near me, but I really wanted to own a copy of Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Very excited because I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. It was just so much fun. And then I also picked up the novella that comes after that first book, so this fits in between the first and second. The second one's not out yet, but this one is about a best friend and kind of her story. I haven't read it yet, but it's super tiny and super cute, and I'm really excited to get to that at some point. So that's those books. Next up is some books that I just picked up from Barnes & Noble because why the heck not? I was book shopping with my sister and we stopped at Barnes & Noble. I picked up Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I've heard a lot of really good things about this and it looks really cute, so it was kind of on sale for the buy one get one 50% off, so this was one that I picked up. The other one that I got is the one that my sister is currently borrowing, and that is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I already have Two Twisted Crowns, but I didn't have One Dark Window, so I ended up picking up the first one, and she has both of those books because she wanted to read the duology. So I don't have that one with me, but I love that series. I gave them both 5 stars, and Two Twisted Crowns is definitely at the top of my list of favorite books of this year so far. Absolutely love it. The next couple of books are ones that I just picked up because why the heck not? No other reason than that. Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. This is a novella that goes in with the Serpent and the Wings of Night, Crowns of Nyaxia series. This one is 1.5, so it goes in between, again, 1 and 2. 2 is out, but I think the hardcover copy I pre-ordered is due to arrive within the next couple of weeks. So I'm really excited for that because I haven't read the second one yet, but I loved the first one. So I'm really excited for this one. Again, I think it's some like side characters that are introduced in the first book, but you get a little bit more of like that side world or that side plot here. And so I'm excited to try this one out. It's also nice and short, so it shouldn't take too long to get through. Next up is Five Broken Blades by Mike Horland. This was just a first edition pickup. The sprayed edges are super pretty. I am actually currently reading this right now, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not loving it. I'm loving the design. It's pretty, but is the story worth it? That's gonna be the question for a lot of these books, because I got a lot of really pretty books, but we'll have to see if they live up to it. Next up is Leather and Lark by Brynne Weaver. I don't know what's going on with Barnes & Noble. They shipped this 2 weeks early, but I am not complaining because Butcher and Blackbird still might be my #1 book of the year so far. That book had me in a chokehold, and I thought about it daily for weeks following finishing it. So I am very excited for this book. I immediately pre-ordered it. As soon as the pre-order was available, it was there for me. And I'm just glad that I have the book, but I need to get a chance to read this, and it's got to be soon because, hello, I do not have patience. The next book up is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. This one is super cool. I have not heard great things about it, which is kind of intimidating, makes me a little nervous, but I also know a lot of people didn't like her previous book, You Shouldn't Have Come Here, I think is the name, and I actually had a pretty decent time. It's like not a favorite or anything, but I liked it well enough, so I am still interested in trying this out. But what is the coolest thing about this is the design of this packaging. Hello. It mimics a VHS tape. It's so cool. It is so cool. It is about like people who, I think they discover like an old home movie that's going to change their perspective of what their parents were like when they were younger. Something along those lines. And yeah, I'm really excited for this. I can't get it back in the box now, but I am very excited to get into this one. And I'm hoping that my judgment of it will be positive. The next grouping of books are going to be books that I've collected from events that I've gone to, whether it's like hanging out with friends or author signings or festivals or whatever. So first up is the stack of books that I got from the week of ApollyCon. Now, I did not go to ApollyCon, but a lot of my friends were, and we were all hanging out that week. And we did end up going to a bookstore, and of course I walked out with a couple of super cheap books. The first one is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This one was recommended to me by Maria, so thank you, Maria, because I'm excited to try this. She said it is a book that she thinks I would like, and if you have been here for any length of time, you know I take my personal recommendations very seriously. If someone thinks I'm gonna like it, I will absolutely give it a try, because what is there to lose? So yeah, I'm really excited about this one because it came from a personal recommendation. Next up is Sadie by Courtney Summers. This one also sounds really interesting, and I think this was Lexi's recommendation. It was either Lexi or Maria. I was with them both in the aisle, and now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember who told me to pick this one up, but I think it was Lexi. And yeah, again, it was like $2, so I said, you're coming home with me. I don't even know what the book is about, but I'm gonna give it a try. And the third book I picked up that day was also definitely a recommendation from Lexi, and it is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. Lexi loves this author. I have not read from the author yet. However, this book was super cheap, and I just knew that I needed to pick it up. Next up is a book that I did not buy that week, but I talked about wanting to get it, and I almost bought it online, and then Cassidy said, hold up, I have that book, and I'm gonna get rid of it, so I'm bringing it to you. So Cassidy brought this book with her from Canada to ApollyCon week so that I could have The Night House by Jo Nesbø. I don't actually remember what this is about other than it's horror, it's supposed to be creepy, and I am here for those vibes. So I'm excited for this. It's also pretty short, and I do love having some short books as options because my attention span sometimes is not there. And the last book that I got during the week of ApollyCon is so special to me. It made me so happy. I just, oh my gosh. So they got back from the last day of ApollyCon, which was a lot of signings that day, and we were all hanging out at the Airbnb, and after everybody was back, Cassidy got up and handed me Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I read this book last year, and I absolutely loved it. Like, it was just so cute, so fun, more like a cozy fantasy romance vibe. I was here for it. I loved it. Loved it. This author was at ApollyCon, and so as a kind of like a team thing, because I think someone bought it and then passed it off so that someone else could get it signed, and there was this whole thing. I think it was a combination of like Cassidy and Mel and Claire and Rye. I don't even know. Everybody there was involved in getting this signed for me. So it was signed. I got a cute little matching bookmark, but They got it signed from the author with a quote, "You can't kill people and be pretty. It's confusing," which is a quote from the book. And this is just so cute and so sweet, and like it just is so special that they thought of me at this event. I thought about going to a Polycon, but unfortunately by the time I was really getting into things like this, it was after the sale had already happened, and like those tickets went so fast. So I was not able to attend the actual event. But a lot of the things that happened there, a lot of the authors, the types of books that were there are books that I love, and they knew that I loved this book, so they got me a copy, and I'm just so happy. I love them. I love my friends. They're so sweet. So thank you guys for getting that book for me. I can't wait to add it to my shelf now. Moving on to the next event, this was another author signing I went to, and this is the one I went to with my sister. And this was for a specific book release at my local indie for Maria V. Snyder. It was the companion novel to Magic Study. So this is the study of magic. In the last couple of years, Maria V. Snyder has started writing Poison Study, Magic Study, and Fire Study from Valak's perspective, who is the male love interest. But also at this event and in the following week, because this was right before a Polycon that I went to this event. And although it wasn't the first time I've met Maria V. Snyder, I have like almost all of my books signed by her by now. I also was able to pick up the new reprinted cover for Poison Study. It's so pretty. Look at it. Let's just appreciate this. Okay, Poison Study is having her moment again, and it is so due. And I was so glad that I was able to get one of these copies just before they were officially released, but getting them at this event. They're just so cute, and now I can't wait to collect even more covers of this book. But we are moving on now to the last of the events that I went to recently where I was collecting books, and this was the Gaithersburg Book Festival, which I just went to very, very recently. Like, it's what kind of kickstarted me wanting to do this book haul, because I got back from this book festival with so many books that I knew I needed to do the haul very soon. So the books here are the ones that I either bought there or took there to get signed. So the first one I did purchase beforehand. I had this pre-ordered way, way, way before the book was released. This is Happy Medium by Sarah Adler. I love Sarah Adler's rom-com vibe. Mrs. Nash's Ashes, so good. So I ended up pre-ordering this one. She was so sweet. And this is also the second time I met her, because I met her at my local indie not that long ago. She also gave out a sticker and postcard to go with the book, which is just super cute. And she did a little doodle of a ghostie on the inside. She had a Sharpie and a pen that she used to make sure she could get the details right. Like, look at that little ghostie. Hello. So cute. Next up is the author who did the panel with Sarah Adler. I have not read this book yet, but it is Fly With Me by Andy Burke. My sister read this and gave it 5 stars, which gives me confidence that I have a chance of liking it. So I picked this one up, got it signed as well. I don't know a whole lot about it other than fake dating, and it's about a co-pilot and an ER nurse. That's what I've got. But I heard fake dating and I said, sign me up, because fake dating is truly one of the best tropes, in my opinion. Next up is Baby X by Kira Peikoff. I did pick this one up at the event, but unfortunately the author was not able to go to the festival like was planned. So I picked this up without knowing that the author wasn't coming, so I never actually got it signed, but I still plan to read it. It's about AI, I think. Lexi convinced me to buy this, go figure. So I have this one. The next book is also about AI and robots, and that is Antibot by Sierra Greer. I actually just finished reading this one. I was halfway through. I listened to the audio on the way to the book festival. I was halfway through whenever I got there, and so I heard the author talk about the book, writing it and everything, and then was able to get it signed, and she signed it like, so glad to meet you, halfway through the book. And I finished it and I gave it 4 stars, so this was a pretty good one. Honestly, like, I was about a third to a half of the way through when I like met the author, and at that point I feel like the vibe, the tone completely shifted from there, but it was more of like a domestic relationship kind of dynamic that, like, that's the real like core of this book, where I thought it was going to be more high energy like robot drama, which it was drama but like more domestic drama. So I still really liked it, but it was a bit of a different vibe than I was anticipating going into it. Next up is another book that I was convinced to buy by Lexi. I say this, I don't blame Lexi, because clearly I'm the one that swiped my card to buy these books, but Lexi, you know, had this book and I read about it and it sounded really interesting, so I ended up getting it. And then we met the author. This is You Know What You Did by Katie Nguyen. Now, this author was so sweet, so cute. She was so excited to be there and just like to meet people. It was such a fun experience to get to meet her, so this was so fun. I think this is horror or thriller. I think it's more thriller vibes, but I'm really excited to try it because it sounds really cool and the cover is super, super cool looking. And next up, this is the last book that I got for the signings. It is A Step Past Darkness by Vera Kurian. Again, this was another one that Lexi picked up, started reading the description, and then looked at me and said, this sounds really good. I picked it up, read the description, and added it to my pile. It's a thriller. It's gonna be fun. I am very excited to try this one out, even though I don't actually remember what it's about anymore, but it sounded good when I first read it. Next up is the books that I got from the Friends of the Library book sale, which is like the super, super discounted sale that they have at the festival. Last year, I walked away with a box full of books. I think I had 18 to 20 books that I bought. Now they were all like $1, $2, $3, or $4 each, which is fantastic. This year, I made it out with two books. So that I consider that pretty successful. The first one is Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. I haven't read, what is it, Station 11? I haven't even read that one yet, but I have it on my shelf. So I figured why not get this one too and add to the collection. And I will be reading them at some point, but I haven't read them yet. But for like $4, I couldn't pass this one up. And the same goes for the next one. This one was $2 as a paperback, and it's Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. This book, I feel like it's considered a classic. The guy at the register certainly said, a classic when I was checking out. And yeah, I haven't read it. I don't know anything about it. But as soon as I saw the name, I was like, this is familiar. I know people have read this and really liked it. So it's my turn to give it a try and find out for myself. The last section here that I have are all the books that I have special editions. So it would be Afterlight or Illumicrate. I'm a sucker for a pretty edition. I can't help it, okay? I can't help it. But first off, we're going to start with the Afterlight books. These are romance, and the first one is The Kiss Countdown by Etta Easton. Now, I did read this one already, and I gave it 5 stars. This book had me literally the definition of kicking my feet, okay? I was giggling to myself and screeching and just having the best time ever reading this book. It is fake dating. So I was set up for success here, and it was so cute. It's about an astronaut and an event planner. And like, it's just so cute. Okay, it's so cute. The astronaut vibes. I was loving it. Next up is The Prospects by K.T. Hoffman. I haven't read this book yet, but I'm very excited for it. I think I'm going to be reading it in June, so that's exciting. This is a baseball romance, and I've recently discovered that apparently I actually do like sports romance, even though I don't care about sports that much. But I do care about sports romance. Give me a romance and I will care about probably just about anything. So I'm excited to try this one out. I don't actually remember the synopsis. I don't remember, but it's baseball and it's romance and it's going to be cute. So I had to get it. And the last Afterlight book that I have here is one that wasn't one of the monthly ones. It was like an additional like release that they have. And it's Funny Story by Emily Henry. I have heard so many good things about this book. And also it's so pretty. I'm really excited to try this one out. I have only read one Emily Henry book so far, and it was like, meh. It was 3 stars, People We Meet on Vacation. So I'm excited to give this one a try and see if other of her books end up working better for me. If this one does not work, then I might not be reading Emily Henry anymore. But I'm not making any claims yet, because I still have to try this one out. Okay, now we're getting into the Illumicrate fantasy books, and a couple of these I actually have duplicate copies of because I got one from Illumicrate, and then I also got the first edition of like the regular print of the book. And I am like definitely not going in order here, but the first one is To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. Now this is the regular edition, but it is so pretty. Like the cover is super shiny, and then it has these gorgeous end pages, and this is just the first edition. Like it's just so pretty that I couldn't pass up getting this. But also I kind of forgot that it was going to be the Illumicrate book, so this was an accidental duplication, and I haven't read this book yet, so I don't know if I'm going to end up keeping both of them or not. But this is the Illumicrate version, so it looks very, very similar, but it's more of like a matte color with a couple of like foil additions. And then we open it up to, oops, that's the little card that comes with it, like a stunning design for the end pages. Absolutely, like absolutely so pretty. And then the naked hardcover, hello, breathtaking, hello, stunning. And the edges, I forgot the edges. Like they're so pretty. It's so pretty. I'm obsessed with this physical copy, and so I need this book to be good because I don't want to have to get rid of it. That's what I'm asking, for it to be good so I don't have to get rid of it. Next up is one that I think has gotten a lot of back and forth for people of trying to figure out how to feel about this copy. I've heard good things about the book itself. This one is actually from Evernight, so it's their horror subscription box, and it's Murder Road by Simone St. James. Now, I have read from this author before, and I liked the other book that I had read, and I'm really excited for this one because I've heard good things about the book, but a lot of people didn't like this cover. I'm still undecided. At first glance, I hate it, but the more I look at it, the more I'm like, okay, it's growing on me. It's giving Scooby-Doo vibes, but is that a bad thing? I don't know. So this is the copy. The edges are like this hot pink tree design, which I don't love. Okay, I don't love it. The end pages are cute, okay? They're kind of like Polaroid, cartoony Polaroid shots. Very cute, very cute. But I think what gets a lot of people is the naked hardcover for this one. And I haven't read the book yet, so I don't know if maybe this is going to make sense once I read it or not. But like, the naked hardcover is this light pink map. Now the map itself is so cool, okay? The actual design, stunning. But like, I don't know why it's pink. I don't understand. I like the pink, but it doesn't feel like the vibe that I was expecting from this book based on the very limited information I have about the plot. It just, the pink doesn't really make sense to me yet, especially the hot pink edges. But like, the more I think about it, the more I don't hate it, but also I don't love it. So I'm just a little conflicted on this one. But that to say, I'm still gonna read it, and we're gonna find out exactly how I feel in the end. And finally, we come to the last book, and this is another one that I have 2 copies of because I have no self-control, but I have read from this author quite a few times and really liked a lot of the things that I've read from her. So I'm very excited to be trying out Leigh Bardugo's The Familiar. This is the standard first edition that came out with the black sprayed edges, and it's super pretty. The like end pages are just this super cute design. It's just an overall really pretty looking book, and I have heard really good things about the actual story itself. But Illumicrate also designed a special edition, and this wasn't one of the monthly ones either. This was like just a fun add-on, and this is absolutely so pretty. It's got that like classic style with like the fabric cover, but this like gold foil is so pretty, and it has gold edges. Like, I need to like this book. I need to love this book because of how pretty this is. That brings me to the end of this very, very long, large book haul. 38 books that I've collected over the last couple of months. I would really, really, really love to hear your thoughts. If you have read any of these, please tell me what you thought. Please hype them up. Get me excited. I mean, I'm already excited, but get me more excited for getting into some of these books, especially because there's so many of them and I don't know when I'm going to get to them, but if you hype them up, they might move up on my TBR. If you haven't read them, but you are also excited, I would love to hear that too. Now, if you liked what you saw here and you want to see more from me, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can keep up with all of my future videos. I have lots of fun vlogs planned, and I also do some sit-down videos. I am very excited for the things that I have coming up very soon. I want to thank you so, so much for watching this video, and I really hope that I will see you in the next one. Bye!